Welcome to Inspired Artist Podcast with me, Porter Singer. I am really excited to announce the release of our third single from this Inner Child and Beyond song book that we're creating here, me and Songs of Eden. So in case you're just tuning in for this episode, we've done two previously. We did one on the first single, I Am the Love, J Ma. We did one on the second single, I Am in Awe, and each song is directly related to a card of this oracle deck that was created by Nina Mongendre and EdieArt, who are going to be my guests in this episode as well. This is going to be continuing throughout our releases, so we have 10 songs total. There's 44 cards, but me and Songs of Eden have created so far the first 10 songs, and we'll keep working on them. It's the first time that I have worked with an inspiration to create music that wasn't like directly related to a personal story or someone else's mantra. So this is a very unique way for me to create, and I really enjoyed the opportunity to see songwriting in a completely new way. I will attribute this to a songwriting course that I taught at the beginning of the year that is actually available as an online course now called Songwriting for Self-Expression, where I discovered that songwriting is something that basically anybody can do. You don't need any musical experience. And it's just another way in which we can receive inspiration. So Edie talks when she's talking about these cards about receiving these images for her paintings, and they turn into paintings. And for me, songwriting is just a way that I catalyze or alchemize, if we're talking about the card that we're talking about today, which is very apropos because the song that we released today, My Life is Gold, was inspired by the alchemy card, and that's why it's called My Life is Gold. So I'll get into that. But yeah, it's just one way of receiving an inspiration. And honestly, another way of receiving an inspiration could just be like, oh, I feel like, turning left right now. So we have these messages that we're receiving all the time, I believe, and following through on them feels really rewarding because we are establishing this trust in our inner self, in our higher perspective, in our soul, however you label that bigger, truer part of you. So anyway, here we go. We're going to talk about alchemy and My Life is Gold. So before I bring Edie and Nina on to share their perspectives on the card and this song, I wanted to share a little bit of the words that Nina wrote, and also I want to share a little bit of how I came to write this song, My Life is Gold. So first off, this is the card. You're probably seeing it backwards. Apologies, but it does say alchemy, and it's card number 8. 8 is a super powerful number for me, and I know it is for Nina too because she's really into numerology, but 8 is a power number, and her husband is such an amazing numerologist too, as an aside. But anyway, so she starts off, well, first of all, this is the booklet. This deck is not to do, but I will. Just a shameless plug for this deck, the Inner Child and Beyond deck that I got for myself as a Christmas present last year, is just a joy. I mean, first of all, it's gorgeous. The information in it, the information contained in this rather thick booklet, it's almost a book, is really, really practical and helpful and healing, and gives some really nice guidelines. Each card is separated into 3 little ideas. There's an invitation, an inner child portion, and then a journey. So she takes you on kind of a journey, or like a meditation practice, to delve deeper into the meaning of this card. So it is an oracle deck because you can use it interactively, which means that you can ask it a question, and then you can shuffle the cards, and you can choose a card, and that card you can go and look up the meaning of and find something. There's so many different ways that you could look at the card because she gives so many different angles on it. So it's a really helpful tool for self-discovery. Something in it will ring true for you, and you'll be like, oh, that's my experience anyway. I'll be like, oh, that's why that came up today. because of something that maybe you're working through. So this alchemy card, she writes, invitation. It is never too late to find joy and never too late to heal. The magical alchemy of life is present in each breath. Every moment can be a portal to experience the magnificence of our essence as souls. Our wounds are the fertile ground from which our wholeness and deep compassion grow. So beautiful words from Nina, and it continues, and there's one for each card. So you really do feel guided along this deck. And when I thought about alchemy, this actually seemed like kind of a tough one. I wasn't really sure where to go with this, but the line just came to me as I was writing it. I was like, wow, that is perhaps the coolest thing that I have ever channeled or received, was this line. And the line was, when love is my focus, my life is gold. And this just felt so, such a cool phrase. And I don't really consider this like my own creation. I really do feel like, as I explained in the intro, that these are like messages that I received. So I feel like it's okay for me to rave about this thing that came out of me, but isn't me. It like, what a cool idea when you're talking about alchemy, because alchemy originally, I believe originally, at least the way that I discovered it, is this idea that you can turn a dull metal or, you know, some cheap metal into gold. You can transform something, right? And then the people who were able to alchemize were considered like magicians and these highly esteemed people, right? And you would go to them and you would basically give your power to them because they had some power that was not in you, which is total bullshit. It is within you. It is in everyone's capacity to alchemize an experience, which is sort of is exactly the intro that she gives in this. You can reflect back on something that happened to you or experience something in the moment that seems like copper or it's aluminum, right? It seems just like the dullest thing or not so worthy, not so great, you know, like, why is this happening to me? And you can alchemize it into a golden experience. It can turn into, oh, this is showing me what I believe. We know, the other thing I wanted to get into was we know from quantum physics that life is a reflection of our beliefs about it. There is no separation. There is no objective reality that happens outside of us. Reality is the product of our belief system. It is showing us what we believe. And the fact that this is like scientifically provable, I'm reading, I'm so not into science too, so I'm really surprised that I'm liking it, but it's called Quantum Revelation by Paul Levy. And it was recommended to me by Jeanette Ma, who has an amazing podcast called LOA Recon. And it's such a, it's so mind-boggling. Like I'm only maybe a third of, an eighth of the way through even maybe. But so far what I'm getting is like, this whole paradigm has shifted on us. We have discovered that there is no observable reality that exists outside of our observing it. We are literally creating, and they say we're literally creating our image of reality. We are creating the image of our reality. And because they're scientists, this is not, and they're not like, you know, it's like, we didn't sign up for spirituality. This is a tough pill to swallow. And it's not being integrated. It's not being integrated at the rate you would think it would be when you've discovered something this mind-bending. And that's what the book is saying. It's like, it's so incredible that scientists know this, but they're not living it. We're still acting in a way as if we believe that we have no effect on our reality other than to like manipulate it, you know, other than to like, you know, if I throw a glass of water on you, I've thrown a glass of water on you. But if I change the way I feel about you, you change for me. Okay. So this blows my mind, and it honestly made me feel so much better about not always getting it, because obviously I'm not always, you know, remembering this in my life, that that my perception is actually affecting reality as it exists. Because that's not how, any of us were raised, I don't think. I mean, maybe some of us were. That would be super cool. I like to think that I'm, imparting a small amount of it onto my children, but realistically, their children are probably going to be living more in this reality than I am, because I'm just sort of like fumbling through it like a toddler. And then they will have a slightly better grasp on it, and so on and so on, But anyway, the idea that you can turn something into something that is of value to you, that you appreciate, that is lovable, just by the way that you look at it, or what you believe about it, or rather what you believe about yourself about it, because it's never about something else, it's about you, right? And this isn't quantum physics, this is more the spiritual stuff, but this is what I extract from that. That is life-changing. And anyway, so I just felt so brilliant because it incorporated the word gold. My life is gold. Literally, my life alchemizes into that highly coveted substance that is, deemed valuable. In reality, everything can be valuable, right? So I just wanted to share that perspective on this song, and why this was an exciting thing for me to work with. Again, I didn't intellectualize any of this, because it just sort of came as a stream, and I wrote it, and I wrote some lines that I didn't keep and whatever, and everything just came so easily for me in writing these songs, which I found really interesting. In the same way that when I wrote the melody for Bliss, I am the light of my soul, I am the light of my soul, which has become my mine and Sat Darshan's little hit in the New Age community. In the same way, it just came so easily. It wasn't like, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. It was just like this. That was it. That's it. There it is. Again, and I know, because I didn't do it. I didn't manipulate that. I believed that I could do it, and so I did it. And that wasn't new for me, because I've been writing songs for a while. So yeah, I just thought I would share that, and really excited, and I hope you'll go listen to the song, share it with people. I will play it at the end of the podcast. And so anyway, here is Edie and Nina and our chat about this card, the beautiful artwork, and the beautiful messages that they share in their Inner Child and Beyond Oracle deck. Here we go.
So first of all, I don't think I mentioned this in the last two, but what I was thinking when I was reading your words, Nina, when I was looking at the card, was like, what would like the result of this healing be? Like, what sort of perspective could I take away from it? Or like, what would the outcome, what could that be for me? So for me, when I read the alchemy thing, I was like, perspective. That's like how we see our life is how we experience our life. So, and also I'm not even sure how it came to me, but I really liked that lyric that, when love is my focus, my life is gold, like that you can turn kind of any situation into a wonderful experience, or at least a purposeful one, when you can see it that way. So I'm curious to hear what y'all feel about that card, and the artwork and the message behind it.
I love how you just described it, and your song. Oh my God, I just like heard it for the first time, and it just touches me so deeply. So thank you so much. Like, I'm so happy that you were inspired by our cards and are offering this amazing gift of your voice and this music. Yeah, for me, I love that perspective, because this girl, like on the giraffe, it's such a dream, like I feel any child would have, right? To ride on the back of a giraffe with like all these amazing, colorful stars. And this card just brings me so much hope and joy. And that to me is what we need, right? Like, because we are all going to have wounds. We all have pain that we're carrying. But the fact that we know that it can compost itself and become this fertile ground for transformation and for joy, right? On the other side of every difficult moment or trauma, when we allow time to pass and we offer ourselves support, some joy, some gift, some flower, like something emerges, like a star that this little girl is receiving as she's riding this giraffe, right? She's being nourished, she's being fed by life. And to me, that's the ultimate beauty of this human experience, right? It's not easy, but we can allow ourselves to feel that sacred alchemy that happens inside of us and all around us.
Yeah. Why did you pick the word alchemy specifically? That was really interesting to me.
Yeah. So my one-on-one practice, where I coach people and help them with inherited trauma and shamanic work, is called Sacred Alchemy. And exactly for that reason of what you were describing, because it is something that is almost, it is like this process of making from lead to gold. I feel that is what we do as human beings as we grow and integrate our past. And so that word alchemy like just describes it so well, right? Like transforming something that feels like it's heavy and it's maybe not so beautiful, but guess what? It becomes our gift. Like it becomes what we offer. And so it is an internal, maybe invisible process to a lot of people, but it's sacred. And I to me, this Edie's art in this card just like in so many ways represents that beauty of love, you know, that mother giraffe and baby giraffe, and it's so nurturing. Yeah.
Giraffes are also my favorite animal, so that was, yeah, you got me. What did the card, or what do giraffes represent for you? Do you know why you picked that image, or like why the stars, like how it sort of all came together?
Oh, for me, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, giraffes they're just like an art, like, you know, like I feel like they're a piece of art, like they're so beautiful. I've seen one in a zoo a long time ago, but like, yeah, I don't see them, but I find they represent something very creative and magical. And I feel with the painting, playing with the colors on the giraffes, which for me ties in a little bit to the alchemy of like, we have all these colors in us, and whichever one can express and become, and like that's a process that we're in as we do our sort of self reflection and inner work. So I feel like that for me linked that to the alchemy bit. But yeah, the giraffe has this magical quality, this really peaceful quality as well. Very nurturing kind of feeling, but also big, you know, like, so it,
yeah, I feel it just came to me like hearing you describe it. I feel like the giraffe can reach into different dimensions, right? Because it's rooted in the earth, but it has this like access that no other animal except birds, no four-legged creature has to like the heavens or the etheric, the air elements. Like it can merge both, and that's what we need to do, right? When we're doing that healing process.
And the elevated perspective too, because it's so far.
Right. Yeah, but you were saying perspective, right? Like the height of the neck of the giraffe, right? It's like this amazing gift. Yeah.
Sorry, Edie, were you going to say something?
No, yeah, I love that. I love what I was chiming into something like, but basically validating what you just brought up, Nina, because I feel like
you have a rainbow on your shoulder. You have a rainbow on you. You were just talking about all these colors and you have a rainbow on you. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. That was too exciting.
No? I have some my little prism in the kitchen. Like they make rainbows here all day. So the giraffe, that I hadn't even really thought about that so much, but it's like perfect because it's true. It's like it has a sort of like weightiness to it, and like, you know, the four-legged sort of like sturdy, strong animal, but then it has this like upward like energy and motion and perspective, like you both were saying. It's all that is in there for me.
And the gentleness, right? It's like not an aggressive animal. In a way, it's awkward. Like it can't really I don't know
Yeah.
how they defend themselves, but I'm sure they kick or do something, but there's this awkwardness, which is what it takes, right? Like we are going to be humbled. We are going to mess up. We're going to fail. We are going to be awkward in our healing journey. It's not this pretty perfect thing. And
Yeah.
so the giraffe, like, is just, yeah, in so many ways, beautifully represents that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's so great. I can just imagine the giraffe. It is such an awkward.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. There's no other, when you think about like a zebra, okay, it's kind of like a horse. So like a lion is kind of like, a leopard or whatever, but like a giraffe, it's like, how does it even
Very
it's like alien.
Right.
Yeah. Do you know, actually, I didn't think about this before, but alchemy is a really important word in the Mary Magdalene circles in France.
Hmm.
And it means all sorts of different things. It can mean like the metals, but also just like the switch from sort of like a worldly consciousness to a, one where we understand that everything is part of everything else. And so, yeah, it's interesting that you picked that word too. Ah, wonderful. Do you have anything else you want to say about the card or the process or?
No, your song is playing in my head. I want people to listen to it.
Oh, yay. Okay, well, we're going to play it now, so don't go anywhere, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for both of you for joining me. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My focus is magical. It changes dull metal into gold. I am an alchemist. When love is my focus, my life is gold. When love is my focus, my life is gold. My focus is magical. It changes dull metal into gold. I am an alchemist. When love is my focus, my life is gold. When love is my focus, my life is gold. My life is gold. My focus is magical. It changes dull metal into gold. I am an alchemist. When love is my focus, my life is gold. When love is my focus, my life is gold. 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 My life is gold.
Thanks for tuning into the podcast, y'all. Please like, subscribe, rate, comment, whatever the platform you listen to podcasts on offers you as a way to let its algorithm know that you're enjoying these episodes. That really helps. Also, there's some links in the podcast description notes that allow you to support the podcast in a way that benefits you and us. So please check those out. And if you'd like to stay in touch with me, you can sign up for my mailing list at portersinger.com. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.